I grew up going to a public school in a rural area, so we had kind of smaller class sizes, generally around 20 to 30 students per class. And my graduating class alone just had less than 100 students, so very small to put that into perspective. Um, my experience with high school, honestly, I feel like they didn't prepare us very well because before going into college, like I didn't know what classes to sign up for, and like I really relied on the people during orientation to really help me because honestly, I had no idea what classes I needed. Um, and as far as loan stuff, my parents were really the main people to help me with that, figuring that out. Um, so I'm glad that I had their help, but like I said, the educational system kind of failed me in that aspect because they did not prepare me for that side of it. Um, I feel that I wish that like K-12 education would teach us more life skills, like we talked about in class, like the cooking and sewing and learning how to change a tire or um, doing finances and like doing a checkbook and learning how to buy a car or mortgage a house. I feel like those are all valuable lessons that I wish schools would teach because they did used to teach some of that kind of stuff and kind of got away from it. Um, as far as how my K-12 education has shaped who I am, is that I guess it kind of really affected like building my personality and my character. And it helped a little bit with time management because obviously we still had deadlines and when we had to turn in homework and assignments, but I feel like things were a lot more flexible like back then because in high school I feel like teachers were like, "Oh, you can't get an assignment, just turn it in like tomorrow or something." But like college, we have like set deadlines that they're like, "Oh, well, too bad you didn't make the deadline. Now you don't get the points for it," kind of thing. So they didn't really teach us that good time management kind of stuff and prepare us well for that. Um, I feel like though in elementary school and high school though we did do a lot of like presenting, so we did get presentation skills there. And for my senior year, we had to do a senior portfolio and do a presentation with that. So I feel like that really helped with like practicing our presentational skills for like say an interview or I don't know, in general, just presentations during college because we do a lot of them. um, uh, and I guess something that I'd like to see change, like I said, is offering more like financial classes. Um, because like our school did offer the class, but it was like an elective, so like you had to choose it, and um, it wasn't one of the ones I had to choose. It wasn't a required class, so I didn't end up taking that one. Um, I would say that the biggest issues in American educational systems are poverty for sure. In my community, there's a lot of people with like low income or just have other financial um, uh, instabilities. We do, they're called Tide Me Over bags, which basically are like bags for the students of food and like canned food or just snacks that they can take home. They usually send them out, I think, on Thursdays because the at least in the elementary school, the one of the like younger like preschool classes they don't meet on Fridays, so they have to send them out on Friday or Thursdays, so that way the kids can have the food for the weekend. Um, so I think that's something that's really good they do. And they also do like free and reduced lunch. So I think that helps a lot with helping make sure that kids are eating something, especially since they don't know if they're going to be eating at home. So that helps with that. Technology and fundings, I feel like a big issue too, because coming from a small school, we don't have a lot of funding. Our school did receive a grant while I was in high school, and we got like, we were one of the first groups to get like Chromebooks and stuff like that, and the iPads and stuff for all the schools. And I feel like it was a good thing and a bad thing because the technology helped us that way we could do more with our schoolwork. But for the people without internet, they'd have to go to the library, or I know a lot of people would go to McDonald's just to get internet. But then it was also a bad thing because obviously kids would abuse the technology by going on like games or watching movies during class, which honestly I was kind of guilty for doing some of that too. But so it was kind of a distraction too from our schoolwork, and what the technology was intended for. And I think another big issue is the No Child Left Behind, because from my experience with being um, a substitute teacher, I found that they really did not help kids that were really struggling or behind, especially during COVID. A lot of the students got behind. They did kind of hold back a few students, but like we had one student that was supposed to be in third grade, but he got held back to second grade. And he was receiving some help to help get him back up to the level that he needed to be at, but he was more functioning at like a kindergarten level and was not nearly at where he was needed to be. And he really wasn't getting as much help as he needed. He needed like full-time support that he was just not getting in class. So I think we really need to help fix that situation by creating more programs or something to help those students that are falling behind, and offering more resources for them, either through the school or external sources that they can get those kind of resources, especially with disabilities and behavioral issues. I know that's a really big issue right now in schools, and like giving them the support that they need is essential for them to be successful. And in order to get diagnoses for issues that like obviously the things that the school can't handle, um, whether it be a learning issue or like some kind of mental or like psychological issues that's going on with them, the child themselves, or with issues that are occurring at home, to help them um, better learn in the environment they need. Um, I think that the government, they always try to get involved with our school systems, but I think it should be more state-based and like let them and the school districts figure out what they best need. Um, I guess kind of going back to more about talking about my education, I did go to, in high school, I went to a career center program where I was doing a patient care technician program where I gained a lot of skills, health related. So that was helpful. That kind of gave me a head start. And I also got a college credit for medical terminology through LCC at the Career Center. They set that up for us to get that opportunity. So that was great to get that college credit. Um, and then in eighth grade, I believe we took an online like survey thing to kind of figure out what career or like what path we wanted to go down. It was kind of like a quick survey. I can't remember if it was like talking about like things that you're good at and like personality things to kind of like determine what you would best be like, what kind of work you would like to do. Or if it was like, do you like doing stuff that is more mechanically or medically inclined, like, or kind of stuff like that. I don't remember exactly because it was back in eighth grade, but we had to take like a little survey then, and it kind of helped. It like gave us like a list of like options that they thought would be a best fit for us based on our answers. Um, I guess after, like, once I started college, I did take a managing your money in college. So that was a really helpful class, like, of how, I mean, there wasn't really, it was kind of like the introductory of like finances and stuff like that. So it wasn't like full in depth explanation of like how to do that kind of stuff. Um, and then I did take an introduction to healthcare class. So that really helped me to explore my different health related options. And I feel like the use of counselors were um, really my big thing to like help college counselors, because high school, I feel like my high school counselors really didn't help me at all. Like they helped me kind of start thinking about colleges that I wanted to go to, but they didn't really help us with the planning. And since I went to the career center, I feel like I kind of got left behind a little bit because they didn't really like seek me out. It was more that they were like, "Oh, you can come to my office anytime," but they weren't like requiring it. So I feel like that didn't really help me. I felt like I was figuring it out on my own. So yeah, that's been kind of my um, K-12 education and my college experience. So